intestine, what has happened? Necrosis has happened. So due to the necrosis of the intestine, colon has swollen up. Clear? So necrosis in the intestine, as a result of intestinal necrosis, what has swollen up? Colitis, colon has swollen up. So very simple definition is that acute intestinal necrosis of the unknown etiology. There is no known etiology. So this is known as acute intestinal necrosis of unknown etiology. Clear? So other definition in the books you can go with the, it is a vascular, toxic and infectious insult. So maybe you will find the other book. So it is vascular, toxic and infectious insult. To relatively immature gastrointestinal tract, intestinal tract. Very name is indicating necrosis. So it is a vascular, and then through the blood supply, toxic and the infectious insult to the relatively immature. You know, GIT is not a mature, immature. You know, newborn baby. So in the newborn baby, the GIT is not still mature. So when this immature GIT is insulted by the toxic, infectious, and through the vascular pathway, that is known as necrotizing enterocolitis. It means acute intestinal necrosis of unknown etiologies. But some risk factors are postulated. So what are the risk factors for NEC? Risk factors for NEC. These are not the actual risk factors, these are the postulated, hypothetical, that due to these that necrotizing enterocolitis can happen. So first one postulated is the prematurity. Prematurity. So prematurity, it means the mean gestational age is 30 to 32 weeks of the gestation. It means prematurity, which type of the prematurity? When mean gestational age is in between 30 to 32 weeks of the gestation. That is that type of the prematurity. So first risk factor is the prematurity. Which type of the prematurity? When mean gestational age is in between 30 to 32 weeks. Okay. Then 90% of these babies have the risk of the NEC. But only 10% of the baby, only 10% of the baby, they have the risk of the NEC with the term neonates. Term neonates. 90% preterm neonates have the risk of NEC. 10% only, 10% NEC occurs in term neonates. So this is the prematurity. So prematurity is the most important cause of the NEC. So if they ask you what is the single most important cause or single greatest risk factor for the NEC, then you will go with the prematurity. And other question they can ask you, which age, gestational age, is a specific for the NEC where 90% of the preterm baby have developed the NAC, that mean gestational age mean age of 30 to 32 weeks, then 90% of the newborn can develop the NEC. But only 10% of the NEC occurs in the term neonates. So first important factor is the prematurity. Second factor or second risk factor is the aggressive use of the formula milk. So here is the aggressive use of formula milk. Basic formula BF. So you are going to use lactogen, lactase, Maggi, whatever different types of the markets are the different types of the formula milks are available into the markets. So they have the different composition. So due to that different composition, they will trigger the immature intestine that can start the necrosis. So therefore, aggressive use of the formula milk can cause the. So when you are using the formula milk, definitely it means there is a lack of breastfeeding. So when lack of breastfeeding, antibodies are not going into the baby, so that can develop the immature immune system and cause the necrosis. And then other cause is the fetal IUGR. Fetal IUGR mean intrauterine growth restrictions. IUGR, intrauterine growth restrictions. Intrauterine growth restrictions. We will discuss all this in later in your gynae obs and also here. So it means during the intrauterine life, maybe there are some restrictions. What are that restrictions? Lungs are not properly formed. So lungs are not formed, so it will lead to the hypoxia, and that is known as perinatal asphyxia. So this perinatal asphyxia can lead to the NEC. Okay, fetal IUGR. So next page number 17. Other risk factor is the maternal cocaine abuse. Fifth one is the maternal cocaine abuse. During the pregnancy, if the mother is using the cocaine, so that can interfere with the GIT, that will become immature. Clear? And sixth point is the due to the absent or reverse end diastolic flow. This is the important point. Here is the absent or reverse end diastolic flow in umbilical artery. So what is that? What does it mean? Reverse end diastolic flow in the umbilical artery. So first I tell you, this is the normal baby. Here is the baby. Here is the normal baby. And this is the internal iliac vein, external iliac vein. This is the iliac internal and the external iliac vein. Okay, ji. So from here internal iliac vein, what will come out? Arteries, umbilical arteries. From here is the umbilical artery. And these umbilical arteries are going to stuck with the placenta. This is the placenta on the uterus. So this is the placenta. So they are providing the blood supply deoxygenated to the placenta. Deoxygenated blood supply to the placenta. So these are the arteries. What are that? These are the umbilical artery. Umbilical arteries. Two umbilical arteries and one is the umbilical vein. So this one is the umbilical vein. Clear? In the placenta or the umbilical cord, there will be two umbilical arteries and one umbilical vein. So this umbilical vein is providing the oxygenated blood supply from the placenta to the baby. Keep in mind, vein has the opposite function. Vein is providing the oxygenated blood from the placenta to the baby, and arteries are providing the deoxygenated blood from the baby to the placenta. This is the normal blood flow. So when during the IUGR, most common during the IUGR, intrauterine growth restrictions, growth is not properly happened. So what will happen? So you will do the anomaly scan. What will you do? You will do the anomaly scan during the pregnancy. When the anomaly scan is done at the 18 to 22 week of gestation. You will do the color Doppler. What you will do? You will do the color Doppler scan. Color Doppler scan will tell you red and the blue lines on the scan film. So the red and blue lines mean blood is moving towards the probe or blood is moving away from the probe. So this is the normal circulation of the baby in the womb of mother. But when there is the IUGR, intrauterine growth restriction, so what will happen? This blood flow, umbilical artery that is going from the fetus toward the placenta, at the end of the diastole, at the end of diastole, where the baby heart is going to end of the diastole. Actually, in the normal cases, it should go forward, but the end of the diastole, it will come back. It will reverse. If it is coming reverse, this problem are absent, no flow, or it is going back. So that is known as reverse end diastolic flow in the umbilical artery. So you have picked up on the anomaly scan with the color Doppler scan. So blood is moving towards the probe. Color will be different from the normal. Clear? So that is the main factor or absent or the reverse end diastolic flow in the umbilical artery is a suggestive for the ENEC, necrotizing enterocolitis. Clear? So that what does it mean? Most important cause of the reverse or absent end diastolic flow in the umbilical artery is the IUGR. What is the most important cause of the end diastolic reverse or the absent flow is the IUGR. Clear? So in the NEC, most these are the risk factors. Let's move on to the other one, NEC. So in the NIC, most common part of the intestine that is involved. So most common type of the intestine, that most common part of the intestine that is involved is the terminal ileum. What is that? Terminal ileum. Or there could be a ascending colon. These are the most important are the parts of the intestine that are involved in the NEC, necrotizing enterocolitis. Okay, ji. So next one, different stages of the NEC. What are that? Stages of NEC. So we have divided the NEC into different three three stages, and these stages are on the basis of the Bell's staging. We call it Bell's or modified Bell's staging. So these stages are made on the form of the modified Bell's staging. So we have on the basis of this modified Bell's staging, We have divided the NEC into 3 stages. And look at the stages one by one, their observations and their investigations and treatment. So here is the 19. So look at the stage number 1 or the stage 1. Stage 1 of NEC on the basis of the modified Bell's staging. So stage 1 of the NEC. Stage 1 of the NEC is also known as NEC suspect. NEC suspect. It means in this stage, you are going to suspect the intestinal necrosis in the newborn. So, what are the general features of this stage? Are the general or clinical features of this stage of the NEC stage 1? So, generally, there will be a temperature disturbance. You feel in the baby, what will be feel? You will feel the temperature disturbance. In this baby, you will feel the apnea. In this baby, you will feel lethargy or the lethargic baby. And after feeling these features, you will do the you will also feel some abdominal features. So these are general features, and next are the abdominal features because it is the abdominal problem. So definitely you will check the abdominal features. This was upper, this one upper was, these are the general examination when you are going to do the general examination or the general examination finding on the general examination. Baby will be feel the temperature disturbance because it is an infection and the necrosis, apnea, lethargy. And the abdominal features, there will be a feed intolerance because GIT is disturbed. So definitely baby will show the feed intolerance. Baby will vomit out, vomiting, feed intolerance, vomiting. Okay, baby will vomit it out. So how will you investigate this first stage of the, so next one is the investigation of the first stage. I'm going to discuss only one by one stage, their investigation, their treatment. So here is the page number 20, investigations, IX, investigations. So investigations of the SPECT and AC. First you will do the abdominal X-ray and then you will do the stool examination. Investigation is on the basis of the abdominal. First you will do the abdominal X-ray and second you will do the stool examination. Abdominal X-ray and stool examination. Because in the abdominal X-ray it will tell something is happening in the intestine and stool is coming out from the intestine, and if the stool is color will change, you will pick it up. So in the abdominal X-ray, what are the findings? On the abdominal X-ray, it can be normal or mild intestinal dilatation. So on the abdominal X-ray, you will feel it is, first thing, it could be a normal abdominal X-ray, or you can find mild intestinal or abdominal distension. Mild abdominal or intestinal distension. Maybe abdomen is swollen up. Abdominal or the intestinal distension. But on the stool examination, what will you pick up? On the stool examination, if there is a occult blood in the stool, occult blood in stool, and on the stool examination, when you feel fresh blood in stool, What does it mean? The two kind of the blood. One is the occult blood in stool. Occult mean that kind of the blood that cannot be seen with the naked eye. I mean, blood is present in stool, but you can't see or visualize with the naked eye. And other one is the fresh blood that can you see with the naked eye. Fresh blood in stool. Fresh blood in stool. So how will you identify the occult blood? So you will do the some lab techniques. So what is that lab techniques that you will use? So here is some Toledan test you will perform in the lab, and finally that is the test name for the occult blood. You will do the orthotolidine. Orthotolidine. So when you will do the orthotolidine test of the stool of the baby, and then it will tell you that blood is present in stool. So when the blood is occult, cannot see with the naked eye, that kind of the stage 1 NEC is known as 1A. Here is the 1A. It is important. In the stage 1A, occult blood in stool and fresh blood in stool is defined as investigated as 1B. 1 mean stage 1 and B mean fresh blood in the stool. So it means stage 1 is further divided 1A and 1B. So you have to identify if there is a occult blood in, then it is stage 1A. If it is a fresh blood in the stool, that is known as 1B or the stage of the suspect. So next one is the treatment. How will you treat this one? Next one is the treatment of NEC stage 1. Treatment of the NEC stage 1. So first, what you will do, first 48 to 72 hours, you will put the baby on NPO. You will put the baby on NPO. You will give the IV fluid, and also you will give the IV antibiotics because baby is suspected. So what does it mean? In first 48 to 72 hours, NPO stands for nothing per oral or nil per oral. It means you will not feed the baby because intestine is disturbed. So when you will give something orally, further disturbance can happen. So nothing per oral or nil per oral. IV fluid, it means why? Because it will compensate the food deficiency. You will can give the amino acids through the IV fluid. You can give the macronutrients through the IV fluids. So as a compensatory for food or diet compensatory. Definitely you will give the IV antibiotics because it is a necrosis. So you will give the antibiotics. So such necrosis is to the immature GIT tract by infectious. So you can start the antibiotics. Clear? So this is the first stage and its investigation, its treatment and examination. So next move on to the second stage of the NEC. Stage 2 of NEC. Other name of the stage 2 of the NEC is the definite stage. Okay, definite N. So we are discussing about the NEC. We have discussed the first stage of NEC. Now move on to the next stage. Second stage of the NEC is also known as definitive stage. So in the definite stage of the NEC, so what are the general features of this definite stage? Definite stage or the definite NEC, not NIC. So generally, Generally, or general examination, general features are same. Why these are same? Because it is the same problem for the intestine. So due to the infection will be the temperature disturbances, and same for the apnea. It is same for the lethargy. So these are the same like the previous one. But the abdominal features are little bit disturbed. What are that? Abdominal features are the abdominal examination. On the abdominal examination or the abdominal feature, there will be a absent bowel sounds. Absent bowel sound, because there is no movement of the intestine, so sound will be absent with mild abdominal distension. Clear? So it is important, absent bowel sound. Next one are the investigations. So how will you investigate it? Page number 23. Okay, ji, page number 23 is the investigations. So what are the AX investigation of second stage or stage 2 or the definite stage? So investigation is only abdominal X-ray. What you will do? You will do the abdominal X-ray. So what do you feel on the abdominal X-ray? If there on the abdominal X-ray you feel there is a nematosis intestinalis, to that nematosis intestinalis. Nematosis intestinalis. What does it mean? Okay, first I will discuss it later, and then maybe you will feel the portal vein gas. Portal vein gas. So these are two findings on the abdominal X-ray. First, let's get when you feel there is the nematosis intestinalis, that is known as, this finding will suggest you for the 2A NEC2A. When you feel there is a portal vein gas, that is known as 2B. You know, second stage A, second stage B. So what is the nematosis? Nemo mean air, tosis mean wall, intestinalis inflammation of the intestine. So you know this one is the intestine. Here is the intestine. And this one is the lumen. You know that in the lumen of the intestine is air or gas. But when this air or gas, there is the infection of the intestine, of immature intestine. This air or gas is present in the walls of the intestine. So here is the gas is here. Okay, not into the lumen. Lumen is gas is present, but this gas appears between two walls, this and this, two walls of the intestine. That is known as nematosis intestinalis. Inflamed intestine with the wall or with the gas in the walls of the intestine. So when you will do the X-ray, you will feel the gas shadow in the abdomen, different parts of the abdomen, you will feel the gas shadow. So that is nematosis intestinalis, mean gas shadow in the walls of the intestine. So gas in wall of intestine, not in the lumen, keep in mind, in the wall of the intestine. Air in the wall of intestine. That is 2A. Other the portal vein gas. What does mean portal vein gas? So here is the liver. So there is the GIT. So this is the portal vein. So definitely when there is a gas in the intestine, so when there is a gas, you will take the X-ray. On the X-ray, liver will appear like this way, dense part. We have studied the radiology because liver is a dense part, so it will appear a dense. But if there's a gas here, so you know gassy area on the X-ray appears lucent. So here is a shadow. So when you feel the shadow in here lower as the intestine, so there are the gas shadow between the GIT and the liver. So that is suggestive for the portal vein gas. So when on the X-ray you feel the portal vein gas, mean on the X-ray you feel there's a gas shadow between the dense liver and dense GIT. That is suggestive for the portal vein gas, and that is stage 2B, definite NEC. When you feel there is a nematosis intestinalis, gas in the wall of intestine, air in the wall of intestine, that is suggestive for the 2A of the NEC. So how will you treat it? So what are the treatment for this one? So treatment of stage 2 of NEC. Treatment is very simple. So treatment is the, you will give the first one, you will give the NPO nil per oral, then you will give the IV fluids, okay, and plus here you will add on the TPN, clear, and also you will add on the IV antibiotics. So in the previous one you have used the NPO nil per oral, nothing per oral. IV fluid you are giving for the food deficiency. Here the TPN. TPN mean total parenteral nutrition. You will give the total parenteral nutrition. It means all the nutrition should be given through the IV fluids. And also you will give the antibiotics. So how period is important. For how much period you will give it for the 7 to 10 days. That previous one was for 42, 48 hours to 72 hours. Here 7 to 10 days. After that you will reassess. It means keep the intestine empty for 7 to 10 days. All are going through the IV fluid way, IV pathway. Clear? So next one is the stage 3. 24. So here let's move on to the next one. Stage 3, 25 and stage 3 of NEC. So name of the stage 3 is also known as advanced NEC. Other name is the advanced NEC, necrotizing enterocolitis. So what will happen in this stage? What are the features of this stage? So general features of this stage are a little bit advanced. So here is the generally or general features. So general features are little bit advanced. So what are the advancedness and the general features? Patient will go or the baby will go into shock, like the sepsis shock we have discussed in the neonatal sepsis. So baby can go or neonates can go into the shock, and along with the shock there could be a bleeding manifestations, rectal bleeding. So bleeding manifestations like the DIC, disseminated intravascular coagulation, okay, And also there are the different types of the thrombocytopenia. So bleeding manifestations, rectal bleeding, so on. And also general feature there could be a life-threatening apnea. Apnea will become life-threatening. But in the posterior, both apnea was just only apnea. That apnea was not life-threatening. Clear? So what are the abdominal features or the abdominal examinations? You will do the abdominal examination. On the abdominal exam, you will feel there is an abdomen hugely distended. Abdomen will be hugely extended due to severe kind of the infections and tender. Extended and tender, it means when you will touch the abdomen, baby will cry. Why? Due to the pain. Clear? So abdominal wall is the cellulitis, and also you will feel the abdominal wall cellulitis plus abdominal wall cellulitis. It means abdominal wall will be infected. So infection is spread from the intestine up to the abdominal wall. So when you will touch the or hold or put your hand on the abdomen of the baby, baby will cry with pain. So how will you investigate it? Investigation for the third stage. So investigation of the third stage is only two type of the investigations. You can investigate it with the blood examination and you can investigate it with the abdominal x-ray. For the investigation, we'll go with the abdominal x-ray. Abdominal x-ray. And for the investigation, you can do the blood examination. Blood examination. So what do you feel on the abdominal x-ray and what you feel on the blood examination? On the abdominal x-ray, if you feel there is a peritonitis, inflammation of the peritoneum. Okay, so on the abdominal x-ray, it means on the x-ray, you will feel there is a ground glass appearance on the abdominal x-ray, that is peritonitis. So if you feel the peritonitis, oh sorry, here spellings are mistakes, peritonitis. Okay, so then it is a third A, stage 3, but A. On the abdominal x-ray, if you feel there is a pneumoperitoneum, what is that? Pneumoperitoneum. Pneumo mean air, peritoneum mean in the peritoneum behind the diaphragm. When you feel there is a air behind or lower to the diaphragm, that is known as third B. So peritonitis is third A on the chest X-ray, and on the chest X-ray is a confirmatory for the pneumoperitoneum. It means there is a gas shadow lower to the diaphragm. That is suggestive for the third B. But on the other hand, in the blood examination, or you will check the severe acidosis. Why? Because it is a severe infection. So blood examination will it will go with the sepsis. So it will be a severe acidosis due to apnea and severe acidosis due to the metabolism. And you will also check the hyponatremia. Hyponatremia, less nitrogen into the blood. And you will also check the thrombocytopenia. Thrombo, it means DIC, blood disorders. So it is a blood examination. So you will check the blood disorders like the thrombocytopenia or thrombocytopenic purpura. You will check the DIC, disseminated intravascular diseases, ITP, idiopathic thrombocytopenic purpura, whatever you have studied, I think, in your hematology with detail. So these are the, you will check the blood examination, severe acidosis, hyponatremia, DIC, ITP, okay. So whatever the different diseases of the. So next one is the treatment. How will you treat this stage? Treatment of the stage 27. What is the treatment? Treatment of stage 3. So treatment is the as same as stage 2. Same as stage 2. What does same it mean? You will give the NPO, NTP, IV fluids, and also you will give the antibiotics for the period of the how much? Period of 7 to 10 days. Okay. So what is the prognosis? What is the prognosis of this stage? Prognosis of this NEC is very very small. So only the 10 to 30%. What is 10 to 30% risk of the mortality? The baby that will go into the NEC, then the risk of the mortality is the 10 to 30% despite best supportive care. If you are giving the best care, then still the risk of the mortality is present. That risk of the mortality is 10 to 30%. So 10 to 30% risk of the mortality is present despite best supportive care. Clear? So when you are giving the treatment same as stage 2, it means you will give the NPO and you will also give the TPN and you will also give the IV fluids and IV antibiotics. Okay, I should repeat it again. So here is the 20 age treatment again, maybe treatment of stage 3, same as stage 2. What is the same as stage 2? It means you will give the NPO, you will start with the IV fluid plus TPN and also you will add on the IV antibiotics for the period of 7 to 10 days. But additionally, you will add on. This is the addition. So why? Because the baby is in this shock, severe septic shock. So you will give the IV fluid boluses, IV fluid boluses for the shock, not through the IV drip. You will give the IV bolus for the shock, and also there is a blood acidosis. So you will give the, and there is a blood abnormality DIC. So for the blood, you will give the vitamin K for preventing the bleeding from the rectum, because vitamin K is the uh, clotting factor. So you will add on the clotting factors. So you will add the vitamin K and also you will give treat the thrombocytopenia, and lastly you will add on the mechanical ventilator. Mechanical ventilator. Why? Because baby is in the severe apnea. Severe apnea. But all these things you have done, still baby is not in your control. Still the NAC is not controlling. Then you will add on next thing. You will do the surgery in the 3B. You will do the surgery in 3B, keep in mind 3B. What does 3B? 3B mean when there is a pneumothorax. What is that? Well, sorry, pneumoperitoneum. And when on the X-ray you feel there is a pneumoperitoneum, then you will do the surgery. So which type of the surgery you will do it? It's very simple surgery. That surgery is known as laparotomy. Open the abdomen. Laparotomy. Otomy mean open. Open the abdomen, and after opening the abdomen, you will do the excessive necrotic segment. Excessive are the, sorry, here first you will do the laparotomy. Laparotomy mean open the abdomen. Open abdomen. Then you will do the excision. Excision of necrotic segment. It means here is the abdomen. You will make a longitudinal scar, and longitudinal scar open the abdomen, and then you will feel this is the GIT. Okay, in the GIT, this one area of the GIT has the terminal ileum or the colon has a necrosis NEC, and this is the normal, again normal GIT. So then you will cut out excessive, make excision. So after taking it out, then what will you do? Then you will do the end to end anastomosis. End to end anastomosis. Anastomosis. Okay, what is the end to end anastomosis? It means you have opened up the abdomen, you have excessive, it means take the this part out, and then this end of the intestine, tie it anastomosis with this part of the intestine. Clear? So that is known as surgery, especially in the pneumoperitoneum. So what is the surgery? Surgery is only done in the pneumoperitoneum. You will do the laparotomy, open the abdomen, and then you will do the excisions of the necrotic. So what will do? You will do the excision, cut the of the necrotic segment. This the necrosis area of the intestine is cut out, and then remainder intestine, end to end anastomosis of the intestine. Then you will tie the other intestine end to end with anastomosis. Clear? So this is known as surgical treatment of the type 3. Clear? So now here is a question. You will have to tell me the one question or answer of that question. Here is just for overviewing. So this was the end of the NEC. So look at the question. So you have to give the answer of that question. So here is the newborn baby presented with the jaundice within first 24 hours of life. So here is the newborn baby presented with jaundice within first 24 hours of life. Sir, can you explain again about the absent or the reverse and the diastole? Okay, I will repeat again, don't worry. Of life, his mother blood group is O positive. So his mother blood group is O positive. So what is your diagnosis? So here is the jaundice with the first 24-hour life. So what is your diagnosis? So now you will tell me. Newborn baby is presented with the jaundice with first 24 hours of life. His mother blood group is O positive. What is your diagnosis? So
To check
can you give any idea?
from the umbilical cord.
So newborn baby presented with the jaundice within first 24. Okay, one student is good, right? Yeah, this is the pathological jaundice. Okay, so your diagnosis is the pathological jaundice. Why? The baby is presented within 24 hours, first 24 hours of life. So when the baby is presented in first 24 hours of life, it means at the time of the birth, baby has the jaundice. So that jaundice is the pathological jaundice, not a physiological jaundice. Clear? So what is your diagnosis? Diagnosis is the pathological jaundice. Clear? That could be due to Rho positive group, that can be due to the Rh incompatibility, but not focus on the Rh incompatibility, just focus on the life. First 24 hours of life. So that is the pathological jaundice, your diagnosis. So then how will you treat it? You will treat it with the phototherapy, and also you will initiate the breastfeeding, continue the breastfeeding, and same as. Okay. So I am giving you the assignment. Here I am going to conclude my lecture. So assignment for you, very simple assignment, not assignment, just only task. I want to tell you, I want that you should participate. Okay. So your task is very simple. So task is mean in the, you can just only go through the newborn scores. What are the newborn baby scores? Are the important scores in newborn? What is the task? You have to find out important scores of newborn. So okay, so what three kinds of the important score of the newborn? For the term newborn, there is a APGAR score. So your task is that you have to find on internet anywhere it is available. A stands for what, P stands for what, G stands for what, A stands for what, and R stands for what. Okay. So what is the APGAR score for the newborn baby, especially for the term newborn? So when there is a term newborn, so you will use the term newborn, then you will check the APGAR score. So APGAR scores are for term newborn. So in the APGAR score, what is the normal and what is the abnormal scoring? Okay, so you have to find it out. But other assignment is along with the APGAR scoring, other assignment is the, what are the scores to assess the respiratory distress in preterm and the term units. So other is the scores to assess respiratory distress in preterm unit and term unit. For the preterm unit, score is known as Silverman score, SAS, Silverman Anderson score. What is that? Silverman Anderson score. And for the term unit, it is known as Downey score. Downey score. So you have to find out what is the Downey score for the respiratory assessment, what is the Silverman Anderson score, and what is the APGAR score. Clear? So it is your task. I will ask you next lecture, tomorrow lecture. So what are these normal values? What are the abnormal values? And what is meant by A? What is meant by G, P, A, R? Okay, very simple. A stands for appearance, P stands for the pulse rate, G stands for Grimace, and A stands for activity, and R stands for the respiration or the respiratory effort. Clear? So here is the same as the five uh, components for the SAS and five components for the Downey scores. So you have to find it out through internet from the book of the Ghai or book of the uh, Parvez Akbar, where you can find it. So it will be your assignment or the task. Tomorrow I will ask from you. So here, any question you can discuss. Otherwise, I'm going to conclude my lecture. So important thing, all of you in your group of class 1, class 2 or class 3, you have definitely get a message from the university that all the students should actively participate in the online lecture. So same instructions were given to us that they write the name of the students who are absent from the class. So first thing, don't write with your online class with your cell phone. Write your name for getting to be present. Like in yesterday class was the made in China and other is the iPhone, Samsung, Huawei, Oppo, whatever. So remove it with the or replace it with your own name, because when I will get the attendance, I will write your names who are present, and then I will send the list of the students' name who are absent in the class. Okay. So other thing, as you know all, university is going to arrange a makeup exam for your subjects in which you have a compart. So once you will pass all these exam makeup exams, after that, if you are fail in the pediatrics, if you are fail in the dermatology, fail in medicine, maybe next time they will not arrange any supplementary exam because no one knows the situation. So please be here, should attend the class. Without passing the subject, you can't get your degree. And don't force me that I should fail you. Otherwise, now the ball is in your court. How you deal with yourself. Okay. So in next class, I think maximum student will participate, and I will send the list of the university.